April 18, 2024, 11:43 a.m., Cedar Ridge, Pennsylvania. Anna Sullivan didn't believe in stories. She believed in antiques. She believed in the delicate creak of old wood, the musty breath of time trapped inside attic boxes, the satisfaction of finding something forgotten and giving it a new place to live. So when she found the doll, she didn't scream. She didn't even flinch. She blinked. Once. Slowly. Then she leaned closer to the box, pushed aside the yellowed newspaper packing, and stared down into a face she already knew. Her own. Exactly her own. The face under glass. The porcelain was aged, but not cracked. The cheeks still held a slight rose hue, the lips a faint bow. But it was the eyes, almond-shaped, dark brown, a little wide for the proportions, that unsettled her. Because they were hers. Not similar. Not reminiscent. Hers. Anna pulled the doll out gently. Its limbs were jointed with a kind of care that hadn't been manufactured in decades. It wore a tiny faded blue dress with lace at the cuffs, hand-stitched, from the looks of it. Around the doll's neck hung a tiny locket. Closed. Anna opened it with a fingernail. Inside a photo, a real one, picture of a newborn, with her name beneath it. Anna Sullivan, 1993. She dropped the locket. The doll hit the attic floor with a thud. The Sullivan house. Anna had only returned to Cedar Ridge to clear out her grandmother's house after her passing. The place had been in the family since 1911. A towering, gray-sided Victorian on the edge of the woods, more shadow than architecture. Her grandmother, Margaret Sullivan, had lived alone there for the last 25 years. Margaret was the town's unofficial historian. She collected everything. Photos, papers, letters, ledgers, trinkets. Nothing was ever thrown away. Anna had loved that about her, until it meant Anna would have to go through it all. She expected dust. She did not expect a doll made in her exact image, before she was even born. Verifying the impossible. Downstairs, Anna sat at the kitchen table and examined the doll again under better light. The details were undeniable. Same chin scar she'd gotten falling off a swing at age 6. Same faint freckle on the left eyelid. Even the faint dimple on her right cheek when she smiled, which meant it couldn't have been made before she was born. She examined the tag sewn into the doll's back. Faded cursive embroidery, still legible. Handcrafted, 1987, Wardland Figurines, York, Pennsylvania, 1987, 6 years before she was born. The missing years. Anna called her mother. Hey, did Grandma ever have dolls made of the family? Like, custom dolls? Silence. Not that I know of. Why? Did you ever see one that looked like me? Another pause. What kind of question is that, Anna? Just answer, please. Her mother sighed. You know, Grandma was strange. She collected creepy things. Maybe you're just seeing what you want to see. Mom, this doll has my name in it, and a picture of a baby that looks exactly like me. But it's dated 6 years before I was even born. That's not possible. I know. Researching Wardland figurines. Anna's search revealed only fragments. Wardland had been a custom doll maker in the late 20th century. They never mass-produced. Each doll was handmade, often to match photos of real children. The business closed in 1991 after a fire destroyed the original workshop. A small Reddit thread mentioned the dolls. My grandmother had a Wardland doll made to look like my cousin. She died in the 90s. Doll still sits in the cabinet. Feels like it watches you. Another reply, the weirdest thing is mine doesn't match anyone in the family. And it came with a name none of us recognize. The doll moves. That night, Anna left the doll on the mantel above the fireplace, facing away. When she returned in the morning, it was turned toward the kitchen. She chalked it up to memory. She must have left it that way, right? Later that afternoon, while taking a box of linens to the curb, she glanced back through the front window. The doll was facing the front door. Its eyes met hers. The old photo album. In the den, Anna opened one of Margaret's albums. She stopped at a page marked 1987 Private in her grandmother's blocky cursive. Inside was a single photo. A woman, definitely Margaret, sitting on a porch with a baby in her lap. The baby looked exactly like Anna. Same face, same ears, same lopsided smile. Caption underneath: Anna, 6 weeks. Fall sunshine. Anna flipped the page. Nothing. No other photos of the baby. No birth certificate. No hospital info. Just a post-it note tucked behind the photo. It wasn't supposed to be her, but she came back anyway, calling the manufacturer. Anna dialed every number she could find associated with Wardlin. Disconnected. Finally, she found a listing for a retirement home in York, a woman named Bernice Ward, 92. When Anna asked if she ever made custom dolls. "That was a lifetime ago, dear. My husband made the bodies, I did the faces. Did you ever make a doll for Margaret Sullivan? That name sounds familiar." Anna sent a photo of the doll. 5 minutes later, Bernice called back. "I remember this one." "You do?" "Yes. Your grandmother insisted I sculpt it from a photo. But the baby wasn't born yet." "I'm sorry, what?" "She said she dreamed her. That the baby would come whether she wanted her to or not. She said she'd seen her face since she was 16. The doll speaks without moving." That night, Anna couldn't sleep. She left the doll in a box in the attic again, lid shut. At 3:14 a.m., she awoke to a sound, soft, wooden tapping. She rose slowly, flashlight in hand. The attic was silent when she opened it, but the box was empty, and the doll was sitting on the attic floor. In its lap, the old locket. Anna lifted it. The photo had changed. It wasn't the infant anymore. It was her, now 31 years old. Eyes closed, and beneath it scrawled in pen, "I waited for you." Anna digs deeper into her grandmother's journals and uncovers a disturbing truth. Margaret had dreams about a baby before anyone was pregnant and believed she was being haunted by a child that hadn't yet existed. April 19, 2024, 2:02 p.m., Cedar Ridge, PA. Anna sat at the kitchen table, a shoebox full of her grandmother's journals spread across the wornwood. Outside, the trees leaned into the wind like eavesdropping listeners. The house creaked, not the charming kind of creak that old houses make, but the kind that sounds too deliberate. She ignored it. All her focus was on Margaret's dreams. The first entry, October 2nd, 1986. "I had it again. The baby. The same dark eyes. Wide. Watching. Too still. I think her name is Anna. But no one's told me that. I just know. She comes back every time I forget her. She wants to be remembered." Anna blinked. She wasn't born until 1993. More dreams follow. Entry after entry. Anna under the swing. Anna laughing with a mouthful of dirt. Anna holding the wrong kind of scissors. Anna standing at the foot of my bed, just watching. It didn't read like a grandmother doting on a child. It read like a haunting. Asterisk, I told Carol about the dreams. She said I was imagining it. But then she said something strange. "It's always girls with the name Anna. They always come back." Asterisk. Carol. Carol Monroe was Margaret's closest friend for 40 years and had died in 2006. Anna remembered her vaguely, a severe-looking woman with white eyebrows and peppermint breath. She flipped deeper into the journals. May 9th, 1987. "Carol helped me with the binding today. Said the dream needed a face. Something to anchor it. I asked Bernice to sculpt the doll. Carol said it would trap the spirit long enough to know if she was real. We buried the locket in the doll's chest." Anna shuddered. What was the binding? In a side pocket of the box was a folded paper, yellowed and brittle. A handwritten spell or ritual? More like a chant. Sloppy ink, shaky script. "Let the dream be held. Let the shape be known. If she comes again, let her wear the skin she claimed." Below it, a line drawn in red pencil. "If it is her, the doll will move." Anna folded the paper carefully, trying to ignore the cold coil forming in her stomach. She already knew the doll had moved. Back to Bernice? Anna called the number from yesterday again. "Mrs. Ward? It's Anna Sullivan again." "Yes, dear? I was wondering if you'd call back. Why did my grandmother ask for the doll? She didn't want a child. That's what I remember. Said she was afraid the baby would come into the world wrong." "Wrong how?" "Not born. Returned." "Returned from where?" A pause. "She believed you weren't new. That you tried to be born before. That you failed or were taken and kept coming back. The child before Anna." Anna called her mother again. "Mom, was I your first?" "Anna, what kind of?" "Just answer me." A beat. Then, "No." Silence stretched. "I had a miscarriage. Before you. 5 years before. Anna closed her eyes. Did you name her? I didn't even know if it was a girl. But Mom kept calling her Anna. That's how you pick the name, isn't it? She said it came to her in a dream. The doll returns. Anna placed the doll back in the box that night, locked it in the garage, taped the lid shut. At 3:14 a.m. she woke to a light tapping. Tap, tap, tap. She opened her bedroom door. The hallway was dark. No wind. No creaking. Just tapping. From the kitchen, she walked downstairs, barefoot and half bracing herself for nothing. But on the table, box ripped open, sat the doll. It was no longer sitting. It was standing. Tiny porcelain feet planted on the wood. Arms at its sides. Eyes up. And around its neck. The locket was gone. The locket's new message. Anna found it hours later, tucked under her pillow. Open. Inside, not a photo. A name. Scrawled in faint red ink. Marigold. She didn't know the name. She'd never heard it before. But as she stared at it, a memory stirred. She was 10. A garden. Digging. A whisper in her ear. Call me Marigold. She had forgotten it until now. But the memory didn't feel like something she had made up. It felt like something that had been waiting. Anna returns to the place in the backyard where she once imagined a friend named Marigold. But when she digs where they used to play, she uncovers something that proves Marigold wasn't imaginary and never really left. April 20th, 2024, 10:33 a.m. Sullivan House, Cedar Ridge, PA. Anna hadn't been to the back edge of the yard in years. As a child, she'd spent hours near the tree line, digging little holes, burying coins, string, buttons, always claiming she was making houses for her imaginary friend. A friend she'd called Marigold. She always thought she'd made that name up. But now it was scribbled in a locket worn by a doll that looked exactly like her, a doll made 6 years before she was even born. The garden was still there. Overgrown but recognizable. A rusted shovel still leaned against the shed, half-eaten by vines. Anna started digging near the tree with the knot shaped like an eye, the place where she and Marigold used to talk. The dirt was soft, damp, strangely pliant. After just 5 minutes, her shovel hit something. Not stone. Wood. The box beneath. It was a cedar box, warped, sealed tight. No hinges, no latch. Just nails. She pulled it free, wiping away mud, heart pounding. Carved into the lid. Anna, 1988. She pried it open. Inside, a child's hairbrush tangled with dark strands. A cracked ceramic mug with flowers on it. A single, tiny shoe. And a photo. Her grandmother, Margaret, standing beside a child. Not Anna, but exactly like her. Except the child's eyes were lighter. Almost gray. And the smile was too wide. On the back of the photo. Marigold. Fall, 1988. The child that shouldn't exist. Anna was born in 1993. Marigold existed 5 years earlier. Same face, same age, but no birth record, no mention in family albums, nothing except this buried box. Anna brought the items inside, laid them out on the dining table. The doll, still standing on the mantel, seemed to be watching her. She calls her mother again. Mom, did Grandma ever babysit a child named Marigold? No, why? Because there's a photo of her, with a girl who looks exactly like me. Same face, same smile. That's not possible. There's a buried box in the yard, with a name carved into it. A shoe. Hair. Things that belong to a child. Stop digging into this, Anna. Why? Because I had a miscarriage in 1987. Anna's blood went cold. What? I never told anyone. Not even your father. Did you name her? No. But Grandma did. She called her Marigold, didn't she? Silence. She said the baby wouldn't stay gone. The doll moves again. That night, Anna sets up a camera. Places the doll on the mantel. Facing the wall. She hits record. Goes to bed. Wakes up at 3:14 a.m. again to tapping. But this time she doesn't get up. She waits. Watches the footage in the morning. The doll sits still for an hour. Then, at exactly 3:14 a.m., the screen blips. Just a single frame is skipped. When the video resumes, the doll is turned 180 degrees. Facing the camera. Eyes wide. Lips parted. The journal's missing pages. Back to Margaret's journals. April 1988 is torn out. So is May. But one loose page has been tucked into another book. She woke me up last night, staring from the foot of the bed. I told her she wasn't real. She laughed. Said she liked the dirt better than the womb. She asked when I bury the next one. Anna searches for Marigold. Online records yield nothing. No obituary. No birth certificate, but one article appears archived in a defunct local paper. Child's shoe found in empty grave. October 1988, Cedar Ridge Cemetery. The grave was never claimed. The article mentions a small ceramic item found beside the shoe. A mug, with flowers. Confronting the reflection, Anna stares into the bathroom mirror. She thinks the doll is behind her. She turns. It's not. But when she looks back, her own reflection lags for a split second. And her smile doesn't match. She digs again. Back at the tree, she digs deeper beside the original hole. She finds fabric blue like the doll's dress. She pulls it gently. A second doll. Identical, but older. Dirtier. Mouth stitched shut with thread. No tag. No locket. Buried face down. On its back in faint paint. Marigold, do not open. Closing scene, April 20th, 2024, 3:14 a.m. Anna wakes to the sound of her own voice, but distorted. It whispers from the hallway. I liked the dirt better. She walks slowly toward the voice. The doll sits at the end of the hallway. Locket open. Inside, a mirror. Tiny. Cloudy. Anna leans in, and her reflection blinks, then smiles. But she doesn't. Anna examines the second doll and begins to understand the purpose of the stitching. Someone tried to silence it. But when she accidentally cuts the thread, something long buried begins speaking again. April 21st, 2024, 8:01 a.m. Sullivan House, Cedar Ridge. The second doll sat on the dining table. Muddy, worn. Its porcelain cracked like spiderwebs around the jaw. Its mouth was tightly sewn shut with thin black thread. Aged but intact, knotted 6 times in the back. Anna hadn't touched it since unearthing it from the tree line the day before. She'd been afraid to, but this morning, she woke up with her own lips dry and sore, and a thin, red line across her mouth, like a seam, opening the mouth. She tried to ignore it, but the urge grew stronger by the hour. By noon, she gave in. She brought out scissors, sterilized them, sat under a lamp. Each snip of the thread came with a soft tension, like cutting into something that didn't want to be undone. As the last knot fell loose, the doll's mouth opened slightly, not wide but enough to show teeth. Tiny, perfect, not ceramic, human. Inside the mouth, she tilted the head back. There was something lodged behind the teeth, folded paper. She used tweezers. Took minutes. When it came free, she nearly dropped it. A brittle photograph, torn, damp at the edges. 3 people in the image. Her grandmother, Margaret, her mother, visibly pregnant, and a girl, standing just behind them, pale, dark eyes, grinning too widely. She wore a tiny blue dress. On the back of the photo, Marigold at the gate. She insisted on being in the picture. The handwriting was Margaret's. The gate. Anna stepped outside, walked around to the side fence where the garden met the woods. The gate was still there, rusted, slightly open, leading nowhere. She stood exactly where the girl in the photo had stood, and the feeling hit her like ice down her back. Someone had watched this exact moment, before she even thought to come here. Margaret's hidden notes. Back inside, she pulled more books from the attic. Not journals, ledgers, gardening records, annotated calendars. One note caught her attention. September 4th, 1988. Dream. She climbs out of the dirt. She says she didn't like the thread. Says it made her feel like someone else was speaking with her mouth. Another page. Carol says we used the wrong chant. That now there are 2. That one listens. The other speaks. I don't know which one I've buried. The voice begins. That night, Anna hears it again. Not in the hallway. Not in her ears. In her own mouth. A whisper. Faint, like breath under breath. I remember the stitches. She clasps her hand over her lips. Stops. For a while. Searching for Carol. Anna scours the town registry. Carol Monroe's daughter still lives in town. She agrees to meet. I remember your grandmother. And I remember the doll. The first one. No. The second. The one they made after. My mom said they stitched its mouth shut because it was talking in its sleep. Said it kept asking where the other girl went. Other girl, your mother miscarried, right? Carol said she didn't go away. She split. Split. That word stays with Anna all night. She stares at both dolls on the table. Her own perfect, unaging, and the stitched mouth one feral. Cracked. Wrong. Two of them. One listens. One speaks. What if Margaret had been trying to bind a soul, to contain something unfinished? And what if she failed? Cutting sound at night. 3:14 a.m. Anna is jolted awake. The sound is unmistakable. Thread unraveling. Slowly, like something biting through silk. She runs downstairs. Both dolls are gone, but the back door is open. And in the dirt outside, two sets of tiny footprints trail into the woods. One barefoot, one in a doll's shoes. Closing scene, April 21st, 2024, 3:31 a.m. Anna follows the trail to the tree line. She finds a single item hanging from a low branch. The locket. She opens it. Now both halves are mirrors, but each one reflects a different version of her face. One is calm, smiling faintly. The other stares back wide-eyed with her mouth stitched shut. Anna realizes the dolls represent different halves of something her grandmother tried to contain. One that never got born, and one that always wanted to come back. But only one of them is fully awake now. April 22nd, 2024, 7:40 a.m. Cedar Ridge, PA. The mirrors in the locket still reflected her face. But not the same face twice. One was familiar, the self she expected. The other, wider eyes, sharper cheekbones, and a mouth that no longer held stitches but still looked like it had learned to stay shut for too long. Anna snapped the locket closed and backed away from the tree. The doll returns alone. By midday, only one doll had reappeared, the cracked one. It sat silently on her kitchen counter, legs dangling, arms limp, but its head was slightly tilted as if listening. The other doll, the Anna one, was still gone. Anna stood over the stitched-mouth doll. Where is she? The doll didn't move, but the air changed heavier as though a second presence was just out of sight. From the hallway, her own voice whispered back. She went ahead. I'm still catching up. The journal with no name. That evening, Anna found a small notebook tucked into the back of one of Margaret's false drawers. No name. No dates. Just sentence after sentence. First entry. One born with skin. One born with thread. Another. She came first, but they told her she was second. The dirt remembered. So did she. And then. Only one can hold the name, but both can wear the face. Anna remembers something wrong. That night, Anna dreams. She's a child again in the garden. Digging. She uncovers the doll, the stitched one, but instead of being afraid, she hugs it. Whispers into its ear. You can have my name if you want. She wakes gasping, the words still echoing in her mind. Did that happen? Or was it Marigold's memory? Or something that never occurred but always wanted to? The proxy files. On Margaret's old laptop, Anna finds a hidden folder titled Marigold_dio_not_delete. Inside, scans of baby photos, two nearly identical girls. One marked Anna 1993. One marked Marigold 1988. Except they look the same. The metadata for the Marigold image is dated March 3, 2002. That's 10 years after she was buried. Another document, a scanned handwritten letter from Margaret. I thought naming you Anna would stop it, but Marigold was just quieter, waiting her turn. Carol's daughter calls. I thought you should know something. My mom kept a second birth certificate, not legally filed. It says Marigold Sullivan, born 1988. Under status, she wrote, reclaimed. I think they believed she was never really gone. Just paused. The doll speaks again. That night, Anna locks the doll in the shed. But at 3:14 a.m. she hears scratching against the kitchen door. She checks, nothing there. But when she returns to her bedroom mirror, words are fogged into the glass. If you don't choose, I will. Anna makes a timeline. She sketches it on her wall. 1987, miscarriage. 1988, doll made. Marigold appears in family photos. 1988 to 1991, disappearance of the Marigold doll. 1993, Anna is born. 2002, a photo is created showing Marigold alive. Now two dolls. Two faces. Two voices. And at the center, one soul, two vessels. The gate again. On April 22nd, Anna walks to the rusted garden gate. This time, the other doll, the perfect one, sits beside it. Clean. Unmoving. Its locket is open. Inside, a scrap of paper. 4 words. I'm not the copy. As she bends to pick it up, her phone vibrates. A voice message from her own number. Playback. You were always the echo, Anna. You just remembered louder. Closing scene, April 22nd, 2024, 3:14 a.m. Anna lies in bed. From the corner of the room, a shadow rises. She sees herself, a second self, standing in the doorway. Not a dream. Not a mirror. You gave me your name once, it says. I'm just asking for the rest. The voice is soft. Still hers. But older. And smiling. Anna must decide whether she was always Anna or if Marigold simply took the name and wore it better. As the lines between them blur, the dolls are no longer the only ones switching places. April 23, 2024, 9:17 a.m. Sullivan House, Cedar Ridge. Anna stood in front of the mirror and said her name out loud. I'm Anna Sullivan. The words came out flat. Too rehearsed. Too hollow. Like a password she wasn't sure belonged to her anymore. Her own reflection studied her, calm, composed, but she didn't blink at the same time. For a split second, one face waited. The journal continues. More entries in Margaret's handwriting hidden in the spine of an old cookbook. She doesn't belong in the dirt. She belongs here, but not alone. She needs a name to survive. So I gave her Anna. She liked it better than Marigold. Another. If they both wear it, which one becomes real? The other Anna moves in. That night, Anna finds her toothbrush already wet. The clothes in her laundry basket have been folded and put away. There's a voicemail on her phone she didn't record, her voice confirming a doctor's appointment. And a sticky note on the fridge. Eggs. Milk. Marigold's favorite tea. She doesn't remember buying any of it. But the tea is already steeping. Steam rising in the kitchen. Email from her childhood friend. Subject line, still dreaming of the garden? The message is brief. I had a dream last night. You were sitting at the garden gate. Only you said your name was Marigold now. Is everything okay? She hasn't spoken to this person in over a decade. Anna checks the doll again. The clean doll, the perfect one, now sits with both lockets. One open, showing her own face. The other cracked slightly, revealing an image slowly changing. Half of it still shows her as a child. The other half? It's the shadowed version. Same face, different presence. More defined. More deliberate. Like someone becoming real by being seen too often. She tries to rewrite her name. On a blank piece of paper, Anna writes, I am Anna. I am the first. I am the real. She places it under her pillow. The next morning, it's been crossed out. Someone has written beneath it in looping cursive. You were the name. I was the why. A stranger arrives. A knock at the door. An older man. Weathered. Wary. You don't know me. But I was the caretaker when they buried her. Your grandmother told me to forget. But I can't. I've seen too many come back wrong. He hands her a photo. Black and white. A small casket. A porcelain doll placed inside. That wasn't a child. That was a promise. And it wasn't kept. Anna begins to fade. Photos on her phone show rooms she doesn't remember being in. Journals contain her handwriting and someone else's thoughts. She looks at childhood drawings tucked into old boxes. One stands out. A girl with long black hair and red thread on her lips. Captioned in crayon. Marigold is learning. She doesn't remember ever drawing it. But it's signed. Anna. Another dream. In the dream, Anna watches two versions of herself play hopscotch. One misses a step. The other turns and says, only one of us gets to keep the body. She wakes with dirt under her fingernails. The garden gate opens. Anna returns to the backyard. The gate she once had to shove open is already ajar. A fresh hole is dug beside the old one. A wooden sign planted in the ground reads, Welcome home, Marigold. Beneath it, a mirror. It only reflects one version of her. Not the one holding it. The other one, the smiling one. Closing scene, April 23, 2024, 3:14 a.m. Anna hears footsteps down the hall. Soft. Childlike. Then her voice, whispering. You wore me like a dream. But I've been awake longer than you think. The lights flicker. Both dolls sit side by side at the foot of her bed. Between them, a blank name tag. And a pen. As the boundary between Anna and Marigold collapses, the real question emerges. Who was born and who was allowed to stay? Only one version can remain, and it's time to decide who owns the body. April 24, 2024, 5:39 a.m. Sullivan House, Cedar Ridge. The dolls were gone when Anna woke up, but the name tag and pen remained placed neatly on her chest. The tag's surface shimmered slightly under the light, like it was waiting for her hand. She picked up the pen. It was already warm. The ink shimmered red when she wrote just one letter. M. She stopped. The tag vibrated faintly. A low hum filled the air. Anna set it down. The letter faded on its own. The house recognizes someone else. Her grandmother's old keys stopped working on certain doors. Lights flickered in rooms she wasn't standing in. One of the bathroom mirrors cracked, not shattered, just a hairline fracture from one corner to the center. And on the fridge, in unfamiliar handwriting. "You're just keeping the seat warm." The voice returns, but not in her head. It speaks through her voicemail, through the microwave's glitching timer, through the TV during static. Always the same tone, calm, familiar, but now separate from her. "You kept the name. I kept the shape. One of us deserves the rest." Anna tries a ritual. She recreates the burial. She takes both dolls, wraps them in red thread, places them in a shallow grave beside the garden gate. She lights a candle, recites Margaret's chant. "Let the dream be held. Let the shape be known. If she comes again." Before she finishes, the candle goes out. The wind dies, and the ground beneath the dolls shifts as if something is pushing upward. She runs. Marigold appears in other people's memories. Alicia, her college roommate, sends her an old video. "Look what I found. Us in sophomore year." In the clip, Anna is on the couch laughing. Only it's not Anna. Subtle differences: posture, smile, cadence. A closer look shows something impossible. A bracelet on her wrist engraved with the word Marigold. Anna never owned that bracelet. Old letters begin changing. Margaret's letters, once archived, now bear altered content. Phrases replaced. Anna is growing well becomes. Marigold is learning to fit in. Dates change. Photos update slightly. One shows a birthday party Anna remembers. But in the new image, she's the one sitting in the corner while another version of her blows out the candles. The body's limits. Anna starts to black out. Minutes at first, then longer stretches. Waking up in new clothes, with bruises she doesn't remember getting. One day, she finds a note in her own handwriting. "I let you sleep. I needed to walk around for a while. You never use it fully anyway." She records herself. Camera set. Static shot. She falls asleep on the couch. Footage shows her rising at 3:14 a.m., looking into the lens, smiling but not with Anna's expression. She waves, says, "Don't worry, I'll make sure they remember us better." Then she walks out of frame. Anna wakes up to find the front door unlocked. A visit from the caretaker again. The man from the cemetery returns. "I felt her move again. I brought you something." He hands her a rusted tin. Inside, a tooth. Small. Child's. Wrapped in faded thread. And a second name tag. Marigold approved. They used to label them when the dream came back too strong. Anna asks what happens when one isn't approved. The man looks away. They forget, but not all the way. The mirror decides. That night, Anna writes her full name again. A-N-N-A. The mirror fogs over. When it clears, a new word is etched in condensation. "You flinched." Closing scene, April 24, 2024, 3:14 a.m. Anna lies in bed, unmoving. Her body begins to sit up, but not from within. She's still conscious, eyes fluttering. But something else is controlling the motion. As she's pulled upright, her own voice hums softly. And from the hallway, a second voice responds. "Almost done trading places." Anna is now the passenger. The body responds to Marigold more willingly. As the days pass, she begins to fade, her memory slipping, her name losing meaning. But Marigold is thriving. April 25, 2024, 11:11 a.m. Cedar Ridge, PA. Anna no longer recognizes her own handwriting. The letters on grocery lists look too neat, too practiced, not rushed like hers. Text messages she supposedly sent carry a tone she doesn't use. Sweet, polite, balanced. Her reflection doesn't glitch anymore. It just waits. Sometimes it smiles first. Disassociative moments. Anna forgets her last name. Not in a moment of fatigue, but standing in line at the bank when asked to confirm her identity. I don't know. She doesn't recognize her voice on recordings. Or the smell of her own shampoo. She wakes up with red thread curled between her fingers, though she never touched the dolls. And sometimes when she tries to say her name aloud. Amak. Her mouth locks up, then continues. Fine. I'm fine. Messages in the static. Anna sets up old CRT televisions around the house. She's read that analog frequencies can pick up residual spiritual energy. One night, while tuning static, a voice breaks through. You wore me as guilt. I wear you as permission. Another. They only saw you because I stood behind your eyes. Visiting her mother. Anna drives to her parents' house in Harrisburg. She hopes for clarity. But when her mother opens the door, she steps back slightly. Her smile falters. You dyed your hair? Anna hasn't. You look taller, her mother says. Different. Later, while her mother is in the kitchen, Anna notices a family portrait on the wall. She's not in it. Instead, the girl in the photo is smiling too widely, wearing a blue dress, standing slightly too close to the frame. Caption, Family, Summer, 1997. Anna was 4 that year, but she's not the child in the image. Back home, a locked room opens. A door in Margaret's house, always sealed, creaks open on its own. Inside, shelves of dolls. All identical. All of her. Dozens of versions. Some pristine. Some cracked. Some stitched at the mouth. And in the center, a mirror surrounded by a ring of salt long since broken. In the reflection, 2 Annas stand side by side. Only one is breathing. The other smiles first. She tries to fight back. Anna sets alarms. Sets cameras. She tries to trap herself in her own body using old psychological triggers, grounding techniques, even pain. But Marigold adapts. She hears herself laugh at things she doesn't find funny. She hears her voice say things she'd never admit. The town starts remembering differently. Locals begin to greet her as Mari. A neighbor waves and says, Hey, Marigold. Been a while. That's not my name. He looks confused. Sorry, I could have sworn. You used to come play in our yard when you were little. Another woman at the post office hands her a letter addressed to Marigold Sullivan. Email arrives from herself. From AnnaSullivan1993@gmail.com to you@camebackwrong.com. Subject, I know who I am. Message body. I remember the stitches. I remember the dirt. I remember your lungs before I learned to use them. But now I breathe better. You're the echo. I'm the original draft. Attached, a short video. Anna or Marigold speaking directly into the camera. Don't try to take this back. I wear it better. Anna fades. By the end of April 25th, Anna can no longer remember her favorite food, her middle name, the name of her first pet, or whether she ever actually existed outside this house. In the mirror, she mouths words, but her reflection speaks them first. Closing scene, April 25th, 2024, 3:14 a.m. Anna wakes in her bed, or maybe she's watching someone else wake. She sits up, feels her own body respond, sluggishly, like worn machinery. Marigold's voice whispers, This skin fits now. You can rest. Anna tries to scream, but her mouth doesn't move. Anna is now trapped inside, a silent observer in her own body. Marigold walks freely, rewriting their shared history. But one version isn't ready to vanish without leaving a mark. April 26, 2024, 6:06 a.m., Cedar Ridge, PA. The world greets her as Anna. Neighbors smile. Cashiers wave. Her mother texts. But inside, Anna is screaming. She watches through her own eyes now, a passenger behind the glass. Every movement, every word spoken in her voice belongs to someone else. Marigold has full control, and she's flawless at pretending. Evidence of the switch. Marigold starts to delete things. Old photos vanish from cloud storage. Childhood journals are shredded. She changes the voice settings on Anna's phone, deletes voice memos, even alters the facial recognition data. Anna watches it all, helpless, every piece of her being reskinned. The dolls are gone. Anna, the real one, had hidden both dolls beneath the attic floorboards weeks ago. Now the space is empty. In their place, a single photo. A girl with long dark hair holding a cracked doll. Captioned in red ink, Finally whole. Marigold's upgrades. She renovates the Sullivan house, paints the attic, disposes of Margaret's boxes, starts a blog titled Returning Gracefully about rural restoration and self-reclamation. The posts read like poetry. Every word flows. Every image is beautiful, but every line sounds more like Marigold than Anna. Anna's voice breaks through. One night, Anna manages to push through. A whisper in her own throat. Only a few words, but enough to stagger Marigold. You don't belong. The body collapses momentarily, breathing heavy, and in the reflection, for the first time in days, the real Anna's eyes flicker back. Marigold growls. Neither did you. Flashbacks from the dirt. Anna begins to remember things she never experienced. The smell of soil in her lungs. The knot of red thread in her mouth. Hands closing a box from the outside. Memories that belong to a doll. To someone buried. Forgotten, but not erased. The caretaker sends a final warning. A letter arrives. No return address. Inside, I've seen this before. The borrowed soul always wants a face. But it's the body that gives it permission. Break the mirror. Bury the name. The rest will follow. Anna fights back. She finds her way through old recordings. Subtle disruptions, static glitches, reflections. Every time she focuses hard enough, Marigold falters. The perfect illusion slips. Anna leaves notes for herself in dreams. She repeats her name like a curse. I am Anna. I am not the borrowed thing. I am not made of thread. The garden burns. April 26th, 11:47 p.m. Anna, still inside, whispers a single command as Marigold reaches for the back door. Burn it. The body trembles. Hands grab a gas can. As flames climb the garden wall, Anna feels something snap loose. The gate blackens. The mirror at the base shatters. The salt ring evaporates in the heat. And far away, beneath the floorboards, a porcelain scream echoes. Closing scene, April 26, 2024, 3:14 a.m. The fire has been extinguished. The dolls are melted. But on the mirror in Anna's room, new handwriting appears. If you want the body back, say goodbye with both names. The final battle for the body begins. Anna must say goodbye to Marigold, not to destroy her, but to integrate what was split. Only one name can remain. But the truth is, they've always shared more than they knew. April 27th, 2024, 3:14 a.m. Sullivan House, Cedar Ridge. The mirror is cracked. The garden is ash. The dolls are gone, melted, fused, or absorbed. And yet, both names still linger in the air like smoke. Anna, Marigold, one born, one buried, both breathing the same body. Anna stands at the center of what used to be her childhood. Reclaimed, rewritten again. Tonight, she has one last task. Say goodbye to herself. The house breathes differently now. The walls feel warmer. Photos have stopped changing. The mirrors no longer lag. But something still waits. Not to attack. Not to replace. To resolve. The final note from Margaret. Tucked into the lining of an old coat, Anna finds one last piece of her grandmother's writing. You cannot banish what wants love. You can only make space, or make silence. I thought giving her a name would be enough. I was wrong. The name must be shared, like a scar. Anna enters the ritual room one last time. The space where the dolls once sat is now just a circle of soot. In the center, a small, unmarked stone. Anna brings 2 slips of paper. On the first, she writes, Anna Sullivan, 1993. On the second, Marigold, 1988. She places them side by side, then lights a match. As the flame takes them both, she speaks. You were made to be buried. I was made to forget. But we are both here, and both tired. The flame goes out. A gust of wind closes the room behind her. The final dream. That night, Anna dreams of the garden again. She is small. So is Marigold. They sit on either side of the tree. Not arguing. Not mirroring. Just watching. Marigold speaks first. I didn't mean to take it. I just didn't want to be forgotten again. Anna nods. I was scared to make space. But I think I can now. They reach out. Their hands touch. The dirt swallows the dolls behind them. The sky glows red, then softens. And when Anna wakes, she's crying. But her mouth is her own. The world accepts the merge. In the mirror, one reflection. Her eyes no longer flicker. The voice in her head is singular. Not stitched. Not borrowed. Just hers with a deeper echo, one layer richer. She still remembers everything. The stitching, the buried locket, the crack in the porcelain, the silent scream of being made instead of born. But they don't control her. Now they complete her. She writes a new name. On a blank page, she pens Anna Marigold Sullivan. And underneath, one was shaped, one was chosen. Both were real. A new doll appears. Weeks later, a box arrives on her porch. No return address. Inside, a single porcelain doll. Not a copy of her, but a blend. Familiar, soft, calm. On its neck, a tag embroidered by hand. One name, no stitches. Anna places it on the mantle. It never moves. It doesn't have to. April 27th, 2024, 3:14 a.m. Anna dreams of a garden that's been replanted. Wildflowers bloom around the edges. Marigolds, dozens of them. In the dream, she hears a girl's voice, her own voice, whisper, "Thank you for letting me stay."